can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
And how are we doing out there all across this great land around the world? It is that time. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate coming to you live right now, coast to coast and around the world. I am your host, John Matthews, man, prophet of the airways, back after a weekend of rest and relaxation, ready to hit it running again. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I hope you enjoy what we have lined up for you tonight and all week. We have a pretty good lineup coming up this week. We actually have some guests coming in from the outside this week. And tomorrow we're going to have a gentleman named Michael Volpe who wrote an article on Wade Grathke. And if you don't know who that is, we might talk about it a little bit later. But just think of the word acorn and what he was tied to that. He was the founder of that. And there's some stuff going on. It actually came up in conversation last week with Don Dix from Act for America. And I pursued the lead and went out there and talked to him. And he's going to come on the show tomorrow. We're going to talk about what's going on in Acorn International. And then on Friday, we're going to have Jordan Page, who is kind of like a country western singer, is out there promoting an album, but a very proactive conservative activist, and he's going to come on Friday with us for a little while, and we're going to talk to him. But in the meantime, let me bring on my cohort, partner in crime, finally back, I hope almost at 100%, my co-host and good buddy, Joe Hakos from Dry Report. How you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm all right, John. Not quite 100%, not even close, but hey, I'm here. And I will soldier on because that's what we must do. Yes,
we must do. And we're going to continue to do it. You know, I just can't. As I've said before, there are days that I just don't want to say anything and don't want to do anything. You know, sometimes you feel like you're spitting into the wind, but I can't in good conscience just walk away and say, oh well, let it go. I wish I could. I wish I was a little more, dumbed down. I wish I was a little more insensitive to what's going on in the world. I'm just not. I wasn't made that way, so I can't do that. Okay, I want to. What are we going to do tonight? We're going to be talking about a couple of things in line with what's coming up tomorrow. I'd like to coin it at this point of the game as Barack Obama's final production, his final curtain. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about what we're going to hear tomorrow. We already know what we're going to hear. There's no doubt. I mean, it's really just another rendition of, you talk about sequels in the movies. This is Barack Obama 6. Or
yeah,
7.
It's what comes out of a south end of a northbound cow.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably just ad-lib tonight, and we could probably do the entire speech for you. But there's context to it. There's just the things that I want to point out about it in terms of where Barack Obama is going to go, because this is going to be all about Barack Obama and where he's going to go. Everybody thinks, next year, he leaves the White House. He might go back to community organizing. He might write some books. He might get speech fees. He might even start a foundation like the Clinton Foundation. And
he might even go learn how to play golf.
Yeah, and maybe he'll hook up with Wade Grathke at Acorn International and make billions of dollars.
Yeah, they can get their SEIU purple T-shirts and go out and raise money for special projects.
Yeah, special projects like having statues erected in every third world banana republic of Barack Obama.
That would be great if they just randomly spewed out fire.
Yeah.
That would be great. That way, when you're walking in front of you never know if you're going to get burned or not.
Yeah. But I'm doing it more. I'm really kind of talking about it because I smile. My grin goes from ear to ear every time I see something in the media that confirms something that we have talked about on this show several times. Probably more times than some people really want to hear it. And and I started talking about this a while back, and I'm gonna talk about it later. I don't want to reveal it right now, but once again, the mainstream media is caught up with us, and they're now echoing some of the things that we've been saying now for well over a year at least, probably maybe even longer. So we'll talk about that later. We do want to talk about a couple things that are going on right now outside of the Obama circles, because the Democrat Party right now pretty much is on their own. They're not going to get any help from the guy who put them in office. And they're pretty much on their own right now. And that's a sad state of affairs, because the people running the show, like Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz and people like that, they're all one brick short of a load and just don't, the lights are on but nobody's home kind of thing. And so I'm actually feeling very confident that even given the ineptness and the inadequacy and the compromising nature of today's Republican Party, given the state of the Democrat Party, outside of what's really going on in the Democrat Party, this really is another election for the Republicans to lose for all intents and purposes. And you could argue the Trump, Cruz, Rubio, all that stuff. You can argue that all you want. There's things going on in the Clinton camp. There's things going on in the Sanders camp, and there's stuff going on. We don't be surprised that come June next year, a candidate just rises up out of the ashes somewhere. Not even a Clinton or a Sanders, maybe somebody else. I've been floating out there this Julio Castro guy, and Julian Castro or Julio Castro, whatever the hell his name is.
Whatever, he's an open borders putz and doesn't belong in an Oval Office. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, we know the Democrat Party is not going to openly support Sanders. We know that O'Malley's got a snowflake's chance of hell of doing anything. So it's either Clinton or they're going to have to pull somebody out of the cupboard somewhere. So, it
makes you wonder how deep in that cupboard are they going to go?
Yeah, they're going to have to, put Joe Biden on life support or rescue Al Gore from the Arctic Circle or something.
They're going to bring Robert Byrd back from the dead.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter, the brain cancer fighter. I mean, come on, Jimmy, you can run again.
Yeah. And then we'll just make somebody vice president. We know we'll be taking your place before the year is out. That kind of stuff. So, but let me. We got to go to a break here. We're coming up on our first break already. And when we get back, I'm going to talk about just some things that are going on, just some generalities out there. In context of what we're just saying, things that could affect the election cycle next year for the Democrats. And there's even stuff going out there that, I don't know. It's still a crapshoot. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Everybody's kind of, thinking that we're narrowing down the field. Things are looking like, oh, yeah, we can kind of pick what's going on. No, you can't. You can't, because there's too many variables involved right now. There's too many things that are just sitting out there just waiting to explode. And we'll talk about that when we get back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
To the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hickos from Dryer Report. And want to remind everybody that the chat room is open. I got a late start on it today. I got tied up with some other stuff, forgot to open it up, but it is open right now. We have Roy from up there from Canada already chomping at the bit and putting some stuff out there, so come on in and join him. We check the chat room, or I check the chat room during the breaks. It's hard for me to do the show and watch what people are typing, so just be patient if you don't hear from us right away. Just go to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and at the top you'll see a little navigation bar that says chat room. Click on it, sign in, and be part of the conversation. Now, let's get into some of these little blurbs that are out there this morning. Maybe you can clear some of this up for us, Joe.
Okay.
There seems to be so many circulating reports of different kinds or different types about different things when it comes to Hillary's ongoing email scandal here. And I got a little bit confused on this last week. It seemed like they were talking about 2 or 3 different investigations within one. It just kind of sounded that way. And we're saying now that they've got an anonymous source. An anonymous source is out making the rounds again. And one or two things happen when an anonymous source surfaces. If it's about a Republican or a conservative, that means that something's getting ready to break. When it's about a liberal or a progressive, what it means is that they're testing the waters to see how they're going to control whatever is about to break. Let me put it that way. Yeah. And so we have an anonymous source out there running around in the Fed, the FBI right now, saying that they're expanding their investigation in Hillary Clinton's use of private email. Again, it seems like they're always expanding. I guess that's what keeps confusing me. They keep expanding the investigation and coming up with nothing, or coming up with something and not doing anything with it. I think that's what was frustrating about it is if this was a conservative, whoever this person was, if there was a conservative doing this, they would have already been lynched, tarred and feathered, crucified, and now they'd already be calling for the impeachment of the president for having selected this person.
Well, yes, I think most certainly with a conservative it would happen, but I believe if this was anybody else. Look what they did with Petraeus, John. He didn't do half as much as Clinton, and they tore him down, fined him, I don't know how many untold dollars. I can't remember what it is. People can look that up. But Petraeus was there. So, and he didn't even do half of what Hillary's already been accused of doing, what they've already found she's already done. And it's just a matter of, gee, is there a double standard? Well, gee, there must be a double standard here because just like you said, anybody else had already been thrown under the courthouse and the jail and the federal prison and Gitmo and every other godforsaken prison in the world.
Yeah, the argument that's being offered by the left from the White House down is that not necessarily that she violated law. Is that their claim is, well, even though she violated law, it didn't cause no harm, no foul.
Bull crap. It goes beyond reason, John, for the exact reason why there's classifications of email.
Well, yeah, it does.
And that's the exact reason why we have classifications. Well, that determines what is going to happen, what grave danger or harm to the country is going to occur. These are public.
We spent hours on this show explaining that the concept of classified information is at its origination point. It's not when it hits paper and gets a title put on it or a classification put on it. It's the information itself that makes it classified. It's born classified. So if you're talking about two people are talking about some information that has been received through intelligence, once that information is disseminated amongst two people or even received by one, it is automatically classified information. It doesn't matter if you put it on a piece of paper and stamp classified on it.
Yes. In fact, John, you can even take it one further. You can have a subject here, subject A, over here on this email, and then subject B in this email. You bring them both together and you look and you combine them, you derive them together, and then you have, classified document A, because the two subjects you brought together bring about that derived classification.
Right. So what we have here is this expansion of this investigation. There's two aspects of this, it seems. One is the agents are investigating the possible intersection of the Clinton Foundation donations, the dispensation of State Department contracts, and whether regular processes were followed. That means, the proper bidding that's supposed to take place with contracts. There seems to be that they're saying or they're alleging that sensitive information was being transmitted back and forth via emails regarding contracts. And so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the idea the accusation or the allegation that Clinton at least one occasion, but I'm going to read you a quote here from her Meet the Press interview on Sunday, that she revealed that she's done this more than once. But the allegation here is that there was a 2011 email in which she told her aide, Jake Sullivan, to take the secure fax and turn it into a non-paper and don't identify it as classified and send it to me email, because she's claiming, or the State Department's claiming, the fax machine wasn't working right and she needed the information. Now, I want to read you this quote here, and then I'm going to let Joe comment on it. She's on the CBS Sunday show on CBS. I believe it's Face the Nation, is it? What is it here?
Yes.
Okay, Face the Nation. And she says, this is the thing. First, remember just last week, this never took place. Okay, that was the initial claim. This never took place. The State Department said, we have no record of this happening. Clinton said she never did it. But look what she says here in this interview. I was looking for a secure fax that could give me the whole picture. But oftentimes, there's a lot of information that isn't at all classified. So whatever information can appropriately be transmitted unclassified often was. Now, that is admission that this has been done more than once. That information, classifications, it was declassified on paper, meaning they took the heading off of it, and under the, the assumption or the conclusion that it really isn't classified at all, it was being transmitted email. So see, she right there, she admitted that she was doing something on a regular basis, at least enough times to say often. It was often done this way. We'd have some kind of thing on a secure fax. Maybe the fax machine wasn't working, or it could be with government stuff. But the point being is, at some juncture, there was a decision made to turn it into non-paper, take the classification off of it, and email it, because it's really not classified anyway. And then she goes on to follow up and say, it wasn't sent in any case. See, this goes back to the narrative. There wasn't no harm, no foul. Just because we did something questionable, nobody, it didn't hurt anything. It didn't hurt anybody. So what's the big deal? That's how that's being played. What's your comments, Joe?
Well, first of all, I'd have to ask the question: did she own the information? Did she derive the information? The only people that didn't declassify the information are the people that owned the information, that made it classified to begin with. And they mark it in such a way as to what year and date that's going to happen, when it's going to be declassified. So if she doesn't even own the information, she has no authority to declassify it. Period.
Yeah, it's not in her jurisdiction or her authority to do that. To take classified information and at her beckoning, say, oh, well, we'll just declassify it and send an email, because it's not classified anyway. I mean, so somebody's making classified. It's the same mindset we're getting with this Benghazi crap about the video. She's, well, I didn't tell the families they were in the video, and the families say, yes, you did. He's, no, I never said that. You must be lying. So I guess in the same vein, the State Department or whoever's declassifying this stuff, it's like, no, it didn't need to be classified. Somebody made the wrong determination. It's so much non-classified information in it that the whole thing should be declassified. All the main point I'm getting at here on this is simply this. From last week, once again, the pattern from denial to spin.
Yeah.
Okay. At first, it was I never did it. The State Department said it never happened.
Never happened.
And now she's saying, well, we did
it all the time.
Not only did it happen, it happened often.
Yeah, we did it all the time. I don't know what these people are so upset about. We did it all the time. It was a day in and day out thing. It was routine. We always did this. National security be damned. It doesn't matter to us.
Yeah. So that all this, I'm bringing this up because I'm wondering how much more this investigation can expand, to use their word, and somebody at the FBI say, I'm sorry, we got to do something about this.
There's too much here to just sit on anymore.
Yeah, we can't just sit here and continue to churn this thing out with allegations and suspicion when we're turning up now evidence. This is the issue.
Which brings us to the next question, John, is, okay, so what are we supposed to do here at the FBI? We've got all this evidence. We should probably give it to somebody in the Justice Department to see if there's enough here to indict this individual.
And that's got to be why it keeps going through this churning process. Because once it falls into the hands of Loretta Lynch, then now it ties to Obama. If she says, well, we're not going to investigate this.
John, why would it be tied to Obama? What's Obama got to do with this, John?
I'm sorry?
What's Obama got to do with this? Why is it tied to Obama?
It doesn't have anything to do with him directly. I'm just saying it's just bad press. That's all I'm getting at.
Questions, John. It's tied to Obama because he appoints Loretta Lynch.
Yeah, well,
he's her chosen one.
She is an Obama appointee. It's just bad press. It's just bad press that they don't want at this point in time because they're trying to push other stuff on us.
Gee, Obama doesn't care about bad press. I mean, for crying out, if he cared about bad press, gee, I don't know. His little gun summit the other day would have never happened. Let's see, the San Bernardino, all that stuff, and the vetting process going on there, that wouldn't have happened. He doesn't care about bad press anymore.
Yeah,
he's ethereal. He's above. He's above all this, John.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Who are you talking about?
Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's above all this.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, that's just something that I'm just at this point where I'm like, how much longer can you guys just continue to stall? It's like sooner or later, something. Even if the Department of Justice says, well, we're not going to investigate this, or we're going to put it into our own holding pattern, you would think somebody at the FBI at some point in time would say, this is self-damning evidence. I mean,
do you think that's what would happen, John? I think what should happen has happened in the past.
I don't know.
That Attorney General becomes impeachable by Congress. Oh, but that's right. We're talking about Paul Ryan now.
Yeah. Well, you know where that would go.
Yeah, exactly. So you see, basically, what we're going to see is a lot of nothing.
Yeah. A lot of noise, a lot of talk, which is really, in some ways, I think probably in more ways than we even really want to acknowledge, is really the whole end game anyway.
It's insulting, John. It's insulting to every American who believes that justice is blind. Obviously, justice is not blind if you're part of the Obama administration.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we're supposed to hook up with Bob Cardoso over at Robert Cardoso Live. Hoping we got our technical issues ironed out from last week. Had some problems connecting. We did some tests today. Everything should be okay now. And then after our segment with Bob, we're going to get back on some of these topics, and then we'll eventually sometime during the day today get to the State of the Union message, because we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on that, just simply because we already know what's going to be said.
Yes,
I just want to put I just want to put some of it in context with a prediction that we made on this show. I think early last year or late last year. And early last year. I know I was harping on it for quite a while. And the mainstream media has caught up with us. And I want to just kind of thump our chest a little bit and just let you know just how much we're ahead of the game here at the Conservative Syndicate. So stay with us. We'll be right back in just a moment.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos. And we are going to try right now to hook up to Bob Cardosa again over there at Robert Cardosa Live and see if we can get our Monday segment with him going. I think today we are his guest. if I'm correct. That's normally the way it works here. Let's see if he hooks up with us right away here. And I've got an interesting link in the chat room from Roy up in Canada.
Using Joe Hakos. Hey, guys, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Good,
you know
Bob.
what? I can't believe I can actually hear you guys.
Yeah, the wonders of technology, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Joe, how was your vacation?
Yeah, Joe's back with us today, too. So
it was sickening, Bob.
Sickening?
Yes, Bob.
I heard you were on vacation out with dancing girls, and matter of fact, these girls were all in their early 20s.
Only in my feverish moments.
So listen, since you were having feverish moments and really under the weather, did you hear anything good in politics over the last week?
Let's see. It's 2016,
and we're officially in the campaign season, right?
Yeah, the last 2.5 years have been prep to this. Yeah.
So, hey, listen, other than they continue to try to pull the wool over our eyes, what do you really think is going to be I'm really interested, not so much in all the lies and stuff, because I'm getting so used to hearing it that I'm almost immune to it now.
That's why you like Bernie, I know.
Yeah, no, I don't like. Well, wait a minute now. I like Bernie better than I do Hillary, but I still,
because he's not lying to you.
But I still like Trump better than I do Cruz.
Well, that's funny, Bob. You know why I said it's funny? Because I'm going to go see Mr. Trump here on Wednesday.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Did you happen to read Peggy Noonan's article? I sent it off to John, and boy, she wrote.
No, I've been sick, Bob, so I've been avoiding that kind of thing.
Ah, poor guy. We got to get you back on your 2 feet so that you can be interesting again.
Well, that might take more than 2 feet.
Anyway, it just seems to me that, John, you and I talked about this, some time ago, that I wasn't really sure. This was all before this controversy came up. That I wasn't all that sure that Donald Trump wasn't somebody who was seeded into the GOP to split the vote, and nobody thought he was going to be able to be as popular as he is with the polls right now. And I think that it's probably after the fact that he decided, hey, he might have a chance for the nomination.
Well, obviously he has a chance. I mean, you can't at this point. He was supposed to have died out months ago, and he just keeps on chugging. I do not think that his chances are as good as they were just a month ago. I've been charting the Cruz campaign pretty closely, and Cruz is doing just what we said he would do. He is just building slow momentum. He's just moving along, and he's picking up points. He's picking up support. His fundraising is just as good as anybody else's out there, probably even better in most cases. And he's managed to stay pretty much above the fray every time. Trump's on his case right now again. Because he's down. Trump is down in Iowa right now. If the polls are any indication, Cruz is 5 or 6 points above Trump right now. So
yeah, Trump and Cruz, I thought were kissing cousins there for a while. So neither one of them would say anything bad about the other one. And now all of a sudden that Cruz is climbing in the polls and he's leading in Iowa, Trump is looking at him more as somebody to blast away than to align himself with.
Well, what Trump has done is Trump has caught on real quick, and probably because he is the businessman that he is, he knows the object of the game is to maintain the narrative, take control of the narrative and keep it. And if it means doing something that just a few months ago he refused to do, and that is to address this imaginary issue of Cruz's citizenship. My argument with Cruz being a citizen or Rubio being a citizen, or they tried this with Romney being a citizen and even John McCain being a citizen. This argument has been made completely moot with the election of Barack Obama. It doesn't mean anything.
But you know what I don't understand, John? If you're going to run for the highest office in the nation, why is it that nobody checks this stuff out, the validity of your being qualified to run for president, before you actually get on anybody's ballot or gets on or are able to even sign up?
Well, that's the big problem with politics, that we, the people, seem to think that when people like this get up to this level, that all these things have already been done. That you get kind of a free pass when you get up to this level of politics. That everybody thinks, well, all the hurdles have been cleared, all the T's have been crossed, and all the I's have been dotted, and you find out no, because nobody knows how to cross the T's or dot the I's, and the people that do know. They're in somebody's pocket. So it's just it plays into, or just I think illustrates on a much clearer level how ignorant we, the electorate, have become, and that we don't really pay attention to this stuff.
You would think that Congress itself would police those people who were going to run for president, and they would vet them. You would think that they would hold that office so pristinely that they would vet anyone who was running for office before they were allowed to go out and campaign in any way.
Well, yeah, unless, of course, you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we're
dealing with. Which seems to be the case. Well, Congress doesn't care about anything.
What's your take on this, Joe?
I would think that, yes, this has already been done. This is this is much to do about nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. This is more eyewash. It's just
I agree.
Distraction. This is stupidity. It wasn't even Trump. It started out as a question from the media, blah blah blah, and then since Trump answered it, it's Trump is doing all this. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Seriously, who cares? Yeah. Barack Obama. Now I understand what Bob is saying. Now, if it does come to pass one day in the distant future that Barack Obama was not eligible to be president. Whoa, what do you think that would do to the Democratic Party? My goodness, all those laws and everything else he's enacted are null and void, and the Democratic Party is no longer in existence because all those people would end up in jail.
Yeah. I just don't understand why they don't vet themselves. They obviously, and I think it's like John says, they've become complacent. They really don't care. And the fact, you've heard me say it many times, and I've heard you guys just say it too. These representatives, the people we put in Washington, D.C. to represent us and protect us and keep us safe, really don't give a damn about us. They only care about themselves. They've got their own good old boy network, and they protect themselves. And they don't care if the other guy is eligible or not. They just want to get the first rung on the ladder.
Absolutely, and it's just like a bank robber. Why do robbers rob banks? Well, one, because that's where the money is. Two, is because they think they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, they know they can get away with it.
There you go. That's why. Why would the Democratic Party do that with Barack Obama? Well, because why not?
Well, so there's a lot to be said, Joe, for, what if the Democrats can do it, why can't the GOP?
Well, that comes down to integrity, Bob. And
wait a minute.
I'm saying integrity and politicians in the same breath.
Joe, we're still talking about Washington, D.C., right? You're still talking about Washington, D.C. You can't say Washington, D.C. and integrity in the same breath.
I'm sorry. I got myself a little sick there. I'm going to go throw up a little bit right now. I'm sorry.
Well, I know I was just commenting before we came on your segment here, Bob, about the fact that I have some friends that are still very active in the Republican Party that keep interchanging or using these words, good conservative Republicans, and I can't get my head around that either.
I think it's so sad that I'm laughing about this, and you and I talk about it every week, a couple times a week. How demoralizing it is, and how really disappointing it is that the people that are representing us aren't really representing us at all. And most of the voters are just sitting out there with their heads stuck in the sand, and they just want to be left alone.
Well, and you got that 47% that's going to vote for Hillary Clinton come hell or high water. They don't care what she does. She can go out and machine gun a whole church congregation on a Sunday morning television show, and they'd still vote for her.
Yeah, we were just discussing about this idea that she really on the Sunday talk show circuit admitted that she had declassified faxes and had them sent as non-classified email, more than once.
She declassified her herself.
She declassified. They couldn't have. The claim is the fax machine was busted. She told them to declassify it, take the heading off of it, and send it to her email because, after all, most of it was unclassified anyway.
Checks in the mail.
And,
I mean, it's unfortunate that you have a cliche like, where there's smoke, there's fire, and you use that, and people have heard it so many times. It's like second nature to them. But, I mean, how many times does Hillary Clinton have to ignore the law and ignore the rules before somebody says, shame on you, I don't want to talk to you anymore, stand in the corner with your back to us, and we don't want to hear a word from you for the next 30 years?
Well, you're reading our mail. This is what we were talking about. How much more does this investigation have to expand before somebody says, hey, we have evidence here that now irrefutable evidence that this woman broke the law and that she violated her oath of office, that she did all these things that she's been accused of, and hand it over to the Justice Department so that we can watch the Justice Department spin it for another 3 years.
You know what? We saw more happening in Oregon than we're ever going to see happening in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
That dude, I can't remember his name right now, but
we've got to take a break on our side here, Bob.
All righty.
We'll
know what?
be back.
I'm going to stay with you. I can't. Hang up on me and call me back. I gotta do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys. We'll be right back. We've got to do our break here, and we'll be back to finish our segment out here with Bob Cardoso over there at Robert Cardoso Live. Stay with us.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Okay, hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate coming to you live right now, coast to coast and around the world. I'm your host, John Matthews, Mad Prophet of the Airways, along with Joe, You Can't Handle the Truth, Hakos from Dryer Report. We're going to connect back up here with Bob and see if we can finish out our segment with him tonight. Let's get me down here to his name again. It was supposed to stay at the top, but it didn't. Okay, so we'll go there, and let's add back to the call here. Just wait for him to pick up, and then we'll be back in the conversation with Bob Cardoso over at Robert Cardoso Live. And
John Matthews and Joe Hakos. Hey, guys.
Yeah, we're back.
So, you know what? Don't you know what? I had the most wonderful weekend. My television went out, so I didn't get to see any of the Sunday morning shows. and I didn't know what to do with myself.
You should have felt better about that, Bob.
Huh?
You should have felt really good about that because your mind was being sucked in. It's like you were being every minute you watched, you were about 3 IQ points shorter at the end of every minute.
I kept thinking, the one time that this thing goes out and I can't watch these things is the one time there's going to probably be all kinds of news or be really entertaining, or they might even do something that was efficacious. But I guess I didn't have to worry about it because there hasn't been any news today.
You'd get more out of the Saturday morning shows than the Sunday morning shows, Bob.
Oh, the cartoons?
Yes, absolutely.
Joe, I got to tell you, you sound about 20 years younger with that sexy drawled voice of yours.
Oh, well, it's just for you, Robert.
Hey, you know what, John? News. We're going to be moving the studios. We're going from Rancho Cucamonga to Upland, and it was interesting because when I did the mail forwarding, they re-registered me with the United States Post Office.
You registered for the draft again?
Hell no! Are you kidding me?
Well, the way things are going, we may end up in the Army again anyhow.
Yeah. Well, they don't want me, John. They don't want me. They want somebody that can get up in the morning and not hurt. If I ever got up in the morning and wasn't hurting, I know I was dead already.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I was like you, Bob, this weekend. I didn't do anything with politics. It was family weekend this weekend, and my wife and I, Saturday I was tied up with some church stuff, and then errand day, but yesterday we just spent the whole day as a family, went out and ate lunch, went to a movie, stuff like that. But I will tell you this, and this is because something's a little bit spooky here. We're just kind of off topic a little bit, but I was down Saturday doing the laundry. I went down to the laundry. We use a laundromat because I can do it all, in a couple hours rather than have to do one load all day long kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting outside the laundromat, and with the laundromat that I go to, you have a perfect view of the approach pattern of LAX. So you can kind of sit there and just watch all the jets coming in, in flight pattern. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I see this object coming out to the left of me, and I look over there, and sure as hell it was an Army drone flying at about 1,000 feet, circling around the area, around the laundromat there.
You're kidding.
And it kind of banked up a little bit and came down and did like a figure eight out there. And it really kind of spooked me a little bit because at first I thought, maybe it's somebody's model plane. But it was an actual drone. It had Army markings on it. It was only at about 1,000 feet. And when it did a bank, it did a right bank. And when it banked over, I could see the Army markings on it. And I'm thinking, geez, I wonder where this is coming from. We don't have an Army base around here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, so somebody tried to say, well, it might have been the police department. I said, no, it had Army markings on it.
Yeah, this police department doesn't use U.S. Army markings.
Well, the thought that crossed my mind was about 6 miles north of us, not even that, is a very large Muslim community. We call it Little India. Mm-hmm. And the entire community is made up of all the shops and the neighborhood and everything else is all Middle Eastern orientated. And I'm wondering, maybe this is one of those things that the military is looking at, but don't want to let us know because that would be profiling Muslims,
Yeah. Well, was it silent, John? Did you just happen to notice it in the sky?
You couldn't hear it. You couldn't hear it at all, but you could see it. And it was one of those drones they use over in the Middle East.
That's just scary. You know what? For some reason, and Joe would know more than me, I suppose, or not even be able to answer this question. I thought they weren't allowed to fly those drones over the United States.
I'm sorry?
I thought they weren't allowed to use those drones here in the United States.
Oh, come on, Bob.
They can fly the conus.
You haven't figured out now by Bob what they tell us is not what they do?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bob, there's a waiver for everything, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Except for us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, look at Clinton. She's got a waiver for every damn email in the world.
Yeah. I got a kick out of it because some of my listeners were saying, "Oh, maybe they're watching you," and I'm saying, "Yeah, I should be so flattered."
Well, no, John, wait a minute. It wasn't that long ago they were tracking you.
They weren't tracking me. They were
Didn't you? Wasn't it you that I was talking to? That your phone lines were tapped or something?
No, I about as far as I go, about as far as I'll go with the conspiracy thing, as I know somebody messes with our internet speed.
Well, I was just waiting to see your face on a post office wall, John.
Yeah. I'm probably still not a blurb on anybody's radar. We're not that big yet.
Well, each day goes by. What we've got to do is find some really meaty stuff. We need to do the same thing that Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and I'm going to keep Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders out of this. But I think what we need to do is start just making up stuff and accuse them of things.
Well, it doesn't. You don't need facts anymore. Yeah. All you have to do is throw in innuendos out there or insinuations, and just let the media take it wherever they want it to go. Sooner or later, it becomes fact anyway.
Yeah. I just get. It's humorous to me now. I used to get upset about it. I used to lose sleep over it. I used to get just incensed over it. Now I just kind of laugh at it. Because nobody seems to care. Nobody, other than to talk about it, nobody wants to do anything about it.
Well, people really, if you really understand, this is how you keep from going insane with this stuff. Understand this is the nature of the game. It is what it is right now. And, we can get all frustrated about it and everything. But the point of it is that, to keep, this is why people don't want to be involved. It's because they allow themselves to get frustrated and stuff. I mean, there are days that I have to walk away from it just because of the anger element. But that doesn't mean that you just throw your hands up and go, oh no, because if that's the case, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. So you gotta put the fight up. You got to put it up, but you got to keep things in perspective. It is what it is, and just deal with it that way.
And I know that we're getting close on time, but I wanted to mention something because we actually did this on your show. You had me talking about the economy, the devaluation of the yen and the Chinese market, and we actually forecast what's taking place now in China on your show. Nobody else was talking about it, and the three of us actually brought it up and we discussed it and analyzed it, and that's exactly what's going on in China and the devaluation today, and that's what caused our stock market to plummet here recently.
Yeah, and you just fell in line with what we've been kind of talking about. We like to brag about now. I call it shameless self-promotion. We're so far ahead of what the mainstream people are doing. I've been floating this idea out here for quite a while now that Barack Obama, being president of the United States was just a stepping stone for Barack Obama to head up the UN. He's going for world domination. And I've been saying that for pretty close to a year, if not a year or more. And sure enough, somebody sends me an article the other day, the town hall, somebody saying, hey, Netanyahu has picked up on this, is now campaigning to keep Obama out of the UN because that's his next step.
Yeah.
So, that's what we do on our show. We're ahead of the game here. But by the way, we're out of time here. So
this happens to us every doggone week, John.
Yeah, we just, you want to see, pick up information about our show, just go to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and I guarantee you'll be ahead of the mainstream media for sure.
Absolutely, and we'll be talking to John on his show on Friday again, same time, same station. Hey, guys, thank you very much. Have a great week. Make everybody's life better because you're in it.
All right, we'll talk to you on Friday, Bob.
All right.
Okay, guys. It's time for the Edwards Notebook, and then we'll get back to the business at hand. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
Does President Obama really believe that violence would be reduced by restricting our right to own and bear arms? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, during President Obama's recent Crocodile Tears press conference, where he announced his executive action to further restrict gun sales and ownership, he feigned concern about the victims of Sandy Hook, or so it seems. The president expressed his concern about gun violence in America. To really get his point across, he even misled the American people by saying that the United States was the only advanced nation to suffer horrific gun-violent events. I guess he forgot about the recent terrorist attack in Paris, where numerous unarmed citizens were gunned down by worshippers of Allah. Unfortunately, if every gun were taken from law-abiding sovereign citizens, violence would not cease. In fact, it would dramatically increase. First of all, because more unarmed Americans would mean more potential victims for terrorists and other thugs who prey on those they perceive to pose the least resistance. Mr. President, it will take a change of heart amongst those seeking to kill, steal, and destroy to reduce violence, not taking away our God-given right of self-protection. I'm Ron Edwards.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Akos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Hey, and we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, mad prophet of the airways on a mission from God, and that mission is to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. Along with my co-host, Joe, you can't handle the truth, Hakos. And this is hour 2 here. And I wanted to open it up. We got a link from Roy up in Canada. He sends us stuff down here. Avid listener and just a real chatter. He likes to talk. And he sent us a link here regarding something that took place up in Canada. I guess it was yesterday or last night. And it was apparently took place shortly after their newly elected Prime Minister Trudeau up in Canada greeted a plane full of Syrian refugees. And what we're hearing now is that there were 2 of these. I don't know if they've been classified as refugees, or at least we know this. 2 Muslims, Muhammad Elmi and Muhammad Salad, walked into the front door of a 10X nightclub and opened fire on the crowd inside. And this was just shortly after, the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, had greeted on Friday the first plane load of weary Syrian refugees who landed in Toronto. So there you go. We're seeing the microcosm of Obama's Syrian refugee policy taking place and manifesting before our very eyes up in Canada. What's your take on this, Joe?
Well, what's worse about this, John, is the underreporting of this as these Muslims opened fire in the nightclub in Calgary. It's just ridiculous to think that the media they're so in the tank to be politically correct and follow the Trudeau government's freaking party line to not report this as what was going on. And I'm looking at the list of charges that these people are going to be brought up against. Let me see if I can bring my microphone over here to get this. They're going to be charged with discharge firearm with intent to endanger life, unauthorized possession of a firearm, unauthorized possession of a firearm in a vehicle, possession of a firearm with intent with altered and defaced serial numbers, aggravated assault, and pointing a firearm. For crying out loud, these were freaking terrorists.
Yeah, and let's just focus just for a second here. In light of all the big gun control brouhaha that's going on out there right now, this charge here, altered or defaced serial number.
That sounds bad.
So we have people that are smart enough to get their hands on firearms and deface or file away the serial number. I think they used to call that that's a hot gun. Was that the phrase they used to use? For an unmarked gun. I forget what they used back in the gangster days.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So anyway, now let's just kind of just take this for a second here and let's put this within the gun control debate. Just the idea that these men were able to get their hands on guns. Now, we don't know if the guns are legal. Obviously, it must have been illegal, or they wouldn't have been firing the serial numbers off of them.
Well, so what do they do, John? It's 1:30 in the morning. They're in a car. They pull up to the nightclub. That 2 guys get out, go into the front of the nightclub, start shooting. The security of the nightclub does the miraculous thing, and they actually take these people down and at their own peril. And one guy in the car gets away.
Yeah,
makes you wonder what the really.
Well, now we can put this in context with the piece that we reported on last week about the 2 guys up in Sacramento who were arrested. Now, get this. I wanted to make sure I clarified this. Were arrested on charges of falsifying information on the applications that got them refugee status.
Yes.
Okay, they are involved in terrorist activity, but the charges filed were not related to terrorist activity. They were related to falsifying application questions. And
which asked them about their terrorist activities.
Yeah, and you're going to hear this. You're going to hear this from Obama. He reiterated it last week, and you're going to hear it again in the State of the Union tomorrow, that our vetting process here in the United States is sufficient to take care of these Syrian refugees coming in. And because I guess sufficient means, well, we ask the right questions. It's not a matter of whether we get the right answers. It's only we ask the right questions. And so if they lie to us, what can we do about that?
Mohammed, are you going to go up and shoot nightclubs in the name of Allah in Canada?
I'd
never do that.
We're not responsible for these people falsifying their answers.
I would never do that. The Prophet does not allow that. Oh, you mean your false prophet, Muhammad? Is that being redundant?
Yeah. So here's a preview of coming attractions.
Yes, it's only going to get worse, John. I'm here to tell you. We've had the German officials in Germany report that they've only had they expect about 10% more people to come in by this summer, by June. Okay, 10%. Oh my goodness, that would probably, since they had about between 1 and 1.5 million already come through, and they're going to expect 10% more. Oh, gee, that might be as many as 15 million more of these refugees. And Barack Obama wants to go ahead and say, I'm above it all.
That's another
I look
thing.
at you all, see it all, and my guitar gently weeps.
Yeah, we hear all this stuff, all this talk about him wanting to let 10,000 refugees in here. The fact of the matter is, more than that have already come in. So and so this idea, the numbers are irrelevant other than the narrative. The numbers, 10,000 refugees. So the average low information, misinformation, non-information person out there hearing that, 10,000 is not a lot of people. Well, you know what? It doesn't make any difference. We broke these numbers down for you several weeks ago when we talked about the number of Muslims that are in the United States right now. Somewhere around 3 million. Was that what it was? Or 300 million?
Yes.
No, not 300 million. 3 million.
3 million.
Okay? We had 3 million. And then we showed you surveys that showed, and break these numbers down, the number of Muslims in the United States, whether they have terrorist tendencies or not, whether they adhere to the Islam as a religion of peace or whether they're, radical Islamists in the making.
Or they want Sharia everywhere.
Well, the point, we talked about Sharia law. Sharia law, 30% of those in the United States think that Sharia law should be implemented and that they should have their own court system and that violence is okay when we're dealing with this kind of stuff. So we broke it down very simple. We could say as little as 3,000 of these people have terrorist tendencies. 3,000 of them. Now, take that 10,000 number, that 10,000 Syrian refugee. Well, just for the sake of argument here. Okay, let's say the government's not lied to us. And this is the number that they're talking about. Let's take 10% of that. 10,000. 10% of that is 1,000. Let's say you get 1,000 people in here with no Islamic radical tendencies because they've said so on their application. And these people show up at a healthcare center in places like San Bernardino and start shooting the place up.
2.
Now you do that, 1,000 people. Let's say only 1% of those do something. Let's say 10 terrorists get out there and start shooting places up. Right? What have they done? They've won the battle. They've won the fear game, which is the point of terrorism anyways. It's the fear game.
It has been forever.
It's a fear game. So, hey, I just noticed here we're supposed to be doing commercial. This was our short segment. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
And we are back. And you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos. And I want to shift gears here a little bit, not so much, and then we're going to go from maybe third gear here into overdrive. I want to talk about the State of the Union message that's coming up tomorrow. Not so much about the content of it, because we know what the content of it is going to be. But there are some interesting aspects as to how it's being pitched to the public right now. I've mentioned that I'm on the Obama love list, the love letter list. I get stuff from them all the time. I get stuff from the Hillary Clinton campaign all the time. Somewhere down the line, somebody sold my address to these clowns. But it has worked to my benefit because I hear from their perspective the things that they want to do and how they're doing it, how they're going about doing it. So it's kind of like I'm an insider. I'm kind of got inside information here in terms of how they actually campaign. And I'm getting just inundated with all these emails asking me to commit to listening to Obama's last State of the Union address. I'm getting them with his name on them. I'm getting them with Biden's name on them. I'm getting them with Michelle's name on them, and some other ones. There are other people that are running a campaign and this, that, and the other. And it's interesting that in line with every single message that's coming out, there's one message that stands out. It's the overlaying message behind what they're doing right now in preparation for tomorrow, and that is to cement Obama's place in history on his terms. And they're actually saying stuff like this. This is actually how they're portraying it. They want Obama to define his legacy before it's defined for him. And so that, as I talked about all last week, the narrative, controlling and maintaining the narrative. I want to read out of a couple little articles here, just some little blurbs, just to give you an idea where I'm going with this, because you're going to see it demonstrated tomorrow in so many ways. This State of the Union message is going to have nothing to do with the election. It's going to have nothing to do with the Democrat Party. It's going to have everything to do with Barack Obama and him being God's gift to the world. This article by Josh Letterman at Associated Press. In the final State of the Union, Obama aims to define his presidency. And he starts out with the very statement I just mentioned. Out of time to push a new legislative agenda, President Barack Obama will look past Congress and to the American people in his final State of the Union address, aiming to define his presidency and his legacy before others can do it for him. Unlike the 6 such speeches he's given before, Obama plans to skip the traditional list of grand proposals, new policies, and presidential appeals for new laws in favor of a bird's-eye view of what he has accomplished since 2009 and what's left undone in his final year of office. Now, the article ends with this paragraph. To the dismay of some in his party, meaning the Democrat Party, Obama doesn't plan to use the address as an opening argument for Democratic candidates in the November election. White House officials pointed to his speech at the Democratic National Convention in July and his first rally for the Democrat nominee as his opportunities to frame the campaign. So he's already done his work. I've done everything I need to know. Now, I want to go to the next article. Dylan Stableford, Yahoo, Political Yahoo, okay? He says Obama's State of the Union guest list includes gay rights activists, Mexican immigrants, and Syrian refugees. See, Obama's going to try to use human shields once again to demonstrate all of his great accomplishments. The point being, everything that we're really talking about here is either to cement his place in the halls of socialist Marxism, communism, Hall of Fame, or to prepare himself for what I've been saying for quite a while now, his elevation to the position of the head of the UN once he gets out of office here. I want to read you a couple of just a little blurbs here. The White House says Sunday that the individuals in the guest box represent the progress made since the president first delivered this speech 7 years ago. So these are human time markers. These are people who are the human shields. This is the equivalent of him lining people up behind him when he gives a press conference.
It's like trophies. They're like trophies, man.
Yeah, okay. Now, it says here, this is a quote from the White House. The guests personify President Obama's time in office, and most importantly, they represent who we are as Americans, inclusive and compassionate, innovative, and courageous. Now, I want to...
I'm sorry, John. I have to take issue with that.
Okay, go for it, man.
Well, he's got this one guy coming over from Syria, Syrian refugee, Mr. Hamo, who fled Syria after bombing killed 7 of his family members. He received refugee status and was resettled in Troy, Michigan last month. And Barack Obama goes, "Welcome to your new home. You're what part of makes America great." Bull crap, dude. Why aren't you over there fighting for your own freaking country? You're of age. Grow a pair. You love your country? Get the hell over there and fight for it, damn it. Don't come over here.
Yeah, I agree.
That kind of crap. We're sending our blood and treasure over there to pick up your freaking ass so you can freaking come over here and sit up there with Michelle beside an empty seat that represents all the victims of all the freaking gun violence in the country? Are you kidding me? Why don't you put the freaking name Chicago on that seat, Barack?
Yeah. Gee, don't hold back, Joe. Tell us what you really think.
Yes, I just spoke up. Sorry, but yeah, this is madness. All this bullcrap. Oh, we have the Army Ranger, female Army Ranger graduate who came down. Oh, that's great. I just hope the hell she could actually do her stuff. I don't really give a crap what gender she is. I just want her to be able to do her damn job.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I was looking. I'll tell you what drew my attention. That was one of the first ones I looked at. This Rafai Hamo, Syrian refugee. And now, why is he there? Because Barack Obama wants you to see he is the example of the Syrian refugee in the eyes of Obama. These are the people that are coming over here. People like this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Not the people that want to come over here and jihad.
Not the people that are up in Germany on New Year's Eve,
right,
raping people and going, blah, 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 blah. Don't give me that crap. And then you have the German government hiding the fact.
Yeah. And,
I'm sorry. It just doesn't work. I don't care, City of Cologne. You have a black mark on your eye, and you should be getting rid of your prime minister right now.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the human shield for the Syrian refugees. We're bringing over people like this. A cancer guy. A guy had cancer, lost his family to terrorism, and had to flee the country. This is what he wants.
He had to flee the country? Why? He had to flee the country because Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton refused to listen to the generals and the absolute experts that told them you should not do what you're going to do, and they said, screw you, we're going to do it anyway. Thank you very little.
Exactly. So we're at now. I'll tell you the ones that grab me. There's several ones. We have the gender representative, Lisa Jaster, who's a major U.S. Army Reserve Ranger School graduate. Remember, we got women in the Rangers now, and she was so. There's the gender card. But
there's the social petri dish for the military right there.
Right, and then they have, of course, Naveed Shah, who's a U.S. Army veteran. Again, Middle Eastern descent, but in the military, serving the United States interest and not the ISIS interest. So we're represented there. We have now, these are the ones that really get me. The vacant seat. I want to just take a moment here. I want to take a moment here and lay this out. The vacant seat is for to represent Daniel Kaufman and all the victims of gun violence. Now, you want to know who Daniel Kaufman is. Daniel Kaufman is one of the gentlemen who was killed in the San Bernardino shooting. He's the partner of Ryan Reyes, who is a homosexual activist who survived the shooting. And so Ryan Reyes is going to be a guest, and the empty seat represents his partner, his gay homosexual partner, who they lost in the San Bernardino shooting. And Ryan Reyes is a proactive homosexual activist. So we got the LGBT community represented there, and of course all the victims of gun violence in the United States. So there's some of our representatives there. Now the other guy here,
all of them, John, absolutely all of them.
I'm sorry,
absolutely all of them. Are we going to have someone there for that Philadelphia police officer who was shot by the Muslim? Then the mayor says it's not about Muslims. Are you mean all of them, John? You mean even that guy?
Yeah. There was there's a sheriff, right? There was one of the sheriffs here. Which one is it here? I'm looking down the list.
No,
here.
This guy, they're not representing this guy, this cop from Philadelphia,
okay.
John. Not
Seattle
at all.
Police Chief Kathleen O'Toole.
Oh, whatever.
That's who represents that. We've got, here's another one. Jim Obergefell, homosexual activist. You know who he is, don't you guys? He is the guy that brought the case that went before the Supreme Court and the ruling of homosexual marriage being constitutional. He is the one that filed the case against the state of Ohio for his partner, who, by the way, is also deceased, that he couldn't get married to this guy.
Oh, yay.
So, you got the... Now, let's just go back here. These guests, in the words of the White House, personify President Obama's time in office. It's all about portraying Barack Obama as this great reconciliator, this guy that can bring together all different socioeconomic and genders and everything else, and just make the place a better place to live, make the world a better place to live, because we have all, he's just able to just bring everybody together with all that compassion he has as a community organizer, and just make it all work. In spite of the fact that everything that we're actually looking at here, if we went down the list here, which we could do, we may do here after the break, we could go down the list. Again, the points that we covered, I think it was a week ago, maybe the week before last, about the list that the State Department put out about all the great achievements of Barack Obama. All the things that he did while he was in office, or in 2015, all the things he did in last year, 2015, that have just made the world a better place to live. And I'm wondering, okay, I guess in utopia, this is great. But none of these things that have been happening have not been without ramifications, have not been without bringing further division in the country, and have not really even come close to accomplishing what they said they were going to accomplish.
Yes. Is the world a safer place in the Middle East right now? I don't think so.
Yeah.
How about Northern Africa? I don't think so.
Yeah.
How about Ukraine? I don't think so. How about in all of Europe? I don't think so.
Yeah. Bringing peace.
I just don't know. Maybe we're on a parallel planet than Barack Obama.
Bringing peace to Syria. Okay.
Yeah, in pieces.
Yeah. We gotta go to break here. When we come back, we'll continue. This is John Matthews along with Joe Hickles. You're listening to Conservative Syndicate right now. It's time for Moments of Madness. We'll be right back on Moments of Madness. An article posted at Bloomberg by Jonathan Bernstein entitled "The Trump Effect Begins to Hit Congress" illustrates very well that what is at stake in the upcoming 2016 general election is not about the GOP's concern about who they will oppose in the Oval Office, but whether or not they have a majority that allows them to protect their individual posts. Bernstein very accurately points out that whether or not Trump magically transforms into the hybrid conservative moderate formerly known as a rhino, the GOP still stands to lose in those demographics they are working so hard to win over through their continual compromise with Obama's agenda to fundamentally transform the United States of America due to Trump's unwillingness to tone his rhetoric and instead fall in line behind the bonerized yes men that rule today's establishment. But that's not all. While the GOP tries their best to convey all they need to return America to the GOP platform they themselves have dismantled plank by plank is control of the executive branch. It is quite obvious, even if a real conservative like Ted Cruz, himself a member of their most sought-after demographic, should be the last candidate standing, they fear losing the stability that defines the establishment they have worked decades to create in the House and Senate. Here's the madness. The bottom line is, it is not the future of America that is at stake. It's their jobs. The likes of Donald Trump or Ted Cruz in the White House threaten those jobs. Winning to today's GOP elite is more about the individual security that comes from holding a position that equates intelligence and skill with esteem and pay while exhibiting no qualifications for the job whatsoever. We know this because the current list of establishment elites seeking the White House remain at the bottom of the pond with popularity numbers between 0 and 3%. Yet they are still the ones the media flock to and the left exhorts when upper-tier candidates like Trump or Cruz comment on the weather in hope of rising from the bottom to the top of the cesspool they thrive in. When the best you can do is whine about today's political landscape while at the same time lamenting that which once was, who cares what John Kasich thinks about legislative reform? When the best you can refer to is a past that fades like a Clinton scandal, who cares if Jeb Bush tells you he can fix what he and his family helped break? When you do not even have a number that registers on the scale, who cares what Lindsey Graham believes is good foreign policy? In fact, who cares what Graham thinks about anything except maybe his choice of wine? It remains to be seen whether or not the GOP knocks over the chessboard by forcing a brokered convention next year in hope of getting their choice on the ballot, because they know they are about to lose to the new kid in the class. But one thing is certain. Regardless of how the rules are changed, everyone knows who the brats are, and everyone knows class is about to be dismissed. Maybe, just maybe then, these elites can take the position they are most qualified for, janitor sweeping the floors of the halls of Congress. This is John Matthews for Moments of Madness.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. And we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. And I just want to say I'm going to have a new Moments of Madness hopefully done by tomorrow. Just scheduling conflicts. Like I said, I took the weekend off. Normally on the weekend is when I write this stuff. Took the weekend off to enjoy my family. So, I have to do that once in a while to get that sense of balance as to why I do this in the first place. So we'll have a new one coming up. We got three different things we want to talk about here before we get off the air today. And Joe wanted to continue with what he was talking about, and he wants to talk about the guest list for the State of the Union tomorrow. Go for it, Joe.
So one of the guests is going to ACA, the Affordable Care Act Navigator. And it just goes to show that I wonder if they're actually going to mention what the Navigator or how Barack Obama is going to go ahead and tout his signature piece of legislation that he pushed through in his first time. Remember, folks, since 2009, the government has made you have to buy health insurance. You must buy this product, no matter how much you like it or not like it, no matter what the price is. Speaking of price, for those, just wanted to bring this out, just some numbers here for those that are concerned about the premiums for Obamacare are going up, sometimes quite dramatically. Like if you live in the state of Alabama, the average that your premium is going up is 28.3%. Now it might go as low as 8%, but as high as 28%. That's just in Alabama. Hey, for those Democratic voters in Alabama, congratulations, you asked for it. Yeah. If you're in Alaska, for crying out, now everything's more expensive in Alaska. People get that. It is up there. It is kind of out of the way, but still, it is part of the United States, and as much, they are required to buy health insurance. Now, Alaska, on average, is going to be, now, this is an increase now, 39.1% on average it's going up. 39.1%, people.
Yeah, and, we want a couple things here along this line, Joe. First of all, I want you, the listeners out there, our audience, to understand what an ACA Navigator is. An ACA Navigator is an Obamacare operative. That's what they're there for. They're to push the program. That's like the person, they hire you as a salesperson.
They guide you through the process.
Yeah, and to guide you through the process. They don't necessarily have to like what they're doing, but they're being paid to do it. And that's what you really need to understand what it is. Kind of like if you go down to the store, you go down to the shopping center, and you see people sitting out at a table with a bunch of petitions, and they're soliciting your signature on these petitions. Most of these people, if you talk to them, because I talk to them, most of them don't care about the initiatives that they're paid signature getters.
Yeah.
They get paid for the number of signatures that they get. They don't really care. They'll ask you, are you a resident of this city or whatever, this county, and you say yes or no. They'll take the signature anyway because they're just looking for the buck.
They just want to get signatures. Absolutely.
Right. And that's what an ACA Navigator is. It's just somebody that's paid. And the other thing I want to bring up, too, it's been told or already documented, the majority of these ACA navigators are ex-Acorn employees.
Oh, yeah, that's going to come up important here shortly.
Okay, that you understand that. I picked up on that when they first came out with this. Acorn went bankrupt, is now out there as Acorn International. Like I said, we're going to have Michael Volpe on tomorrow, and we're going to cover that. But the point being is that these people were ex-employees of Acorn and also have ties for Organizing for America, Barack Obama's prime campaign or activist organization.
Yep, that's his campaign, basically.
Right. So this is all about Obama.
Yeah. So those folks in Iowa, since Iowa's been in the news quite a bit lately, right? So those folks in Iowa, you can expect your Obamacare premium prices to go up, on average, 22%. High average would be about 7%. Almost 29%.
Let's put this in line with the other things that are happening with Obamacare. The premiums are going up. The deductibles are going up. You know, some of you people think that you may still get that subsidized free health care until you start getting your copays. You watch your copays go up. I was just talking to a lady over the weekend here who had to sign up for Obamacare. She had to do it. She didn't have a really choice. She needed some health care, and it was kind of like, okay, well, I got to do this. She said her first appointment is in 4 months. She said that's a waiting list just to get in to see the primary. But the other thing I wanted to just reiterate here, that the success of Obamacare that's being touted out there, remember, folks, out of the 26 exchanges that were set up when Obamacare was implemented, only half of them are still operating.
Yeah.
The rest of them have gone belly up. And let's not forget that United Healthcare, one of the biggest players in this, is saying they're getting ready to opt out of this thing because they're losing money hand over fist.
Even at rates going up 26%
right.
and above.
And we'll probably talk about that during this week because I had this stuff on the board last week and we just didn't get to it. It's called the risk corridor, and we're going to explain to you what that is so that you'll understand why all of this is happening. So we'll do that later on in the week.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that people understood when they see Barack Obama out there touting his great health care plan, just how much it's hurting the American people.
Right. Yeah, so just remember.
In the pocketbook, and it's mandatory, people.
Yeah.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
That's your government that loves you so much, so benevolently. They love you. Please, you must buy this health care.
Yeah, so just remember that when Cedric Rowland is introduced tomorrow as one of the guests of the Obama box up there. ACA navigator, former Acorn employee, paid operative. There you go. Now, I want to take this. I want to take this in another direction. Actually, what I wanted to do at the very beginning of the show, and it's good that we went this route because it just puts more substance behind what I want to say here. Obama's State of the Union message tomorrow is nothing more than an interview for his real job, his dream job. You think President of the United States is Obama's dream job? No. It was a stepping stone. This guy wants world domination. This man is Darth Vader. And he wants to run the Death Star. And what's the Death Star? The United Nations. A report, and we were talking about this, I started talking about this last year, early part of last year. And then when I first mentioned it to people I know, they all I got the same thing that I get often when I go out on the edge and say something like this. I get the rolling eyes. I get the people looking at me like, John, I think you're a pretty intelligent guy, but, maybe you've been watching too much news. Maybe this is getting to your head a little bit. Maybe you're just kind of losing control. Well, sometimes that may be the case, but there's always a method to my madness. And I started toting this idea that this whole thing about Obama is just not about being president of the United States. It's not fundamentally transforming the United States, except that's the methodology that he's using. But this is for world domination. Because when you think about Barack Obama and you think about community organizing, what is the dream job? To be able to community organize the international community. This is the phrase that the leftists have used since Obama came in office, the international community. When we touted all of his accomplishments that the State Department was publishing out there, we noted that the similarity in all of them was how it affected the international community. Not necessarily what it was doing in the United States, but how it was being carried forward in the global community. And why is that? Because that's where Barack Obama plans to put his next teleprompter. It's at the head of the UN. The report comes out, and sure enough, I mentioned it last week with Don Dix, and I could tell by the tone in Don's voice. He was like, "Well, that's an interesting take on that." But I could tell the tone of the voice. It's like, John, you're sitting out there in that conspiratorial fringe out there. And sure enough, he sends me an article this morning from Town Hall. Leah Barkokis out there in Town Hall, and the headline, none other than Obama wants to become UN Secretary General. Netanyahu doing everything he can to stop him. It starts out by saying it seems President Obama has no intention of stepping out of the White House and fading from the limelight. He can't do that as Ewell and let him do it anyway. He's got his sights set on the world stage. This time as Secretary General of the United Nations, according to a Kuwaiti newspaper, Al Jazeera. Now, why is that? Because UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon's term expires next year, early in 2017, just the same time Obama's leaving office. What better time to campaign? Now, they're saying that Obama's speech tomorrow, the State of the Union message, will be geared and pointing towards that objective of getting him to the UN as head of the UN. So I just want to float that at you. We got to go to break. When we come back, we'll continue. We got one more thing we want to talk to you about tonight. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
And we are back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos. And I want to remind everybody to check out our website. You can pick up this show shortly after we're off the air here, and we get into the post, get it out there. Go to the conservativesyndicate.net. You can pick up all our shows there. You can read all the blogs. I know Joe's been putting some stuff out there in Dryer Report lately. You can get links straight from our site to his site. If you can't find his site, go to our site. It's there. Anything you want to know about who we are and what we do, the conservativesyndicate.net. Now, we're going to close the show out today. Joe is going to be talking about the upcoming GOP debate. You know, the one of those debates that's not held on the weekend during the Super Bowl. And so, as it's going on in the Democrat Party. So, Joe, you have the con.
Hey, it's a debate. There's gonna be a debate this week, people. How have we ever made it through Christmas without a debate? Anyway, Fox Business Network, FBN, is going to hold a debate. Not like the other business network that had a debate that was a debacle. Absolute crap fest. It was a disservice to any Republican voter and actually the American people at large. But besides that point. All right, so they announced today, who was going to be on the main stage for the debate on Thursday. Okay? And so, without further ado, let's talk about it. Donald Trump will be in the center position once again. Next to him will be Ted Cruz. Next to him will be Marco Rubio. And next to him will be retired neurosurgeon Ben Carson. And then Jersey Governor Chris Christie and former Governor, why in the hell are you still here, Jeb Bush? And the same goes for Ohio Governor John Kasich. You got to be kidding me. You're still going to be out there in prime time.
Wow, I can't believe they're giving Kasich a spot. I might as well just bring Lindsey Graham back.
Well, you know, you have, yeah. And on the junior debate, big air quotes there, which is really sad, actually. Rand Paul, Carly Fiorina, Mike Huckabee, and Rick Santorum.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they've all, let's see.
That's on.
Wow, so they've sent most of them down to the minors then, huh?
Pretty much you won't have Rand Paul out there going whatever he was doing, or Carly, or telling people, hey, look at me.
Rand Paul says he's not even going to show up, huh?
Well, the thing is they still got Kasich going on. It's like, why, John? Shut up, John. Really? What are you going to tell us? And Jeb is, really, Jeb, you could go nap somewhere else. I mean, I've watched, I don't know if people have noticed, and you're probably fortunate if you don't live in any early primary states, but the Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio camps are just out and out, just ridiculous ads. It's got, one has Marco Rubio is a well-oiled weather vane, and then it shows Jeb Bush on a freight train, he's a still driving man.
You can't. Well, you really can't put.
Ridiculous.
You can't put Jeb Bush up there if you don't put John Kasich up there.
But I was just. This is ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I get your point. Yeah, hey, Rubio, you should have never hooked up your train to Chuck Schumer, because if Chuck Schumer's on your side, Marco, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
and he should have figured that out a long time ago. Maybe he did, but it's a little too late. Should have never went down that road. That road, but you know, and God love him, Ben Carson's still there, and Chris Christie's trying to resuscitate the establishment vote here.
Okay, now you know here's something here as I'm looking at the article here. One of the things that sticks out to me is what we've been saying along, how they changed the rules as they go along here. Remember, it used to be like where you were polling in the past 6 months or whatever. Now it's just basically where you're at in New Hampshire and Iowa. It's like they just changed the criteria depending on what the polls are saying in New Hampshire and Iowa. So if that's really the case, then I guess does Bush and Kasich fall in the double asterisk category?
They're absolutely getting no traction. I mean, let me see if I even have this thing up real quick.
Well, I guess the answer would be to look and see where these people are coming in and the numbers there. The only thing we've been hearing is that it's a back and forth right now in Iowa between Cruz and Trump, and same thing I believe in New Hampshire, and I believe in South Carolina Cruz is actually in the lead too. So we're hearing basically about the top two. For the most part.
Well, Cruz is in the lead in Iowa. Trump is in the lead big time in New Hampshire, as well as in South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but you don't see anything about Jeb or the other guys. They're absolutely they're not even, you can't even see those guys.
Yeah, maybe the criteria for who's in the debate should be the number of headlines you can garner in a week. There's
well, if you're just going for headlines, I mean, you can say stupid crap and be like, what's his name, Chris Matthews on that other network somewhere.
Yeah.
If that's all it really takes is just, if you want to get a headline. I mean, you can go, Chris Christie can come out and say, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ. And actually, stand up there and say it. And he'll get a headline. Doesn't mean it's actually true or happening.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing, of course, one thing we're not hearing out there from the media on a grand scale is the fact that Bernie Sanders is pulled even with Clinton in Iowa. Yeah,
that's the crazy thing. He is well within the margin of error to overtake her, and again, it says volumes about the Democratic Party itself, as they have Hillary, who should be in jail or at least indicted, or have a grand jury impaneled to go ahead and see if she should be indicted, and then you got a 973,000-year-old socialist, Bernie Sanders, and then some guy named Martin O'Malley.
Well, here you go. Now, I'm looking here right now at Real Clear Politics and their polls right now. And you can tell this is being skewed here because one of the things they're showing here, I'm going to read here, Trump at 34%, Cruz at 18%. This is supposed to be what's going on in Iowa right now, okay? Rubio 9%, Carson 8%, Christie 4%, Bush 4%, Rand Paul 3%. Fiorina 2%. Kasich is at 2%. He's still on main stage. Rand Paul's at 3%, and he's not.
Bingo. Exactly. Why the hell is John Kasich there? That was the one thing that I noticed immediately out front is why is John Kasich still in the primetime debate?
Yeah. Huckabee's at 3%, Kasich at 2%, and Huckabee's on the first tier.
What, is it because he's a sitting governor? Is that the only reason why? Are you kidding me? He sucks.
Yeah. Without a doubt, without a doubt. Oh man. Okay. So
that was my, yes, that was my very educated opinion. He sucks. I asked people in Ohio. He sucks.
After much thought and analysis, I can come to the conclusion: Kasich sucks. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. John, why are you still there? John, if you're going out there. Why don't you do something useful with this debate, John? Go out there and hand everybody a drink every once in a while. Keep your damn trap shut.
Yeah. Well, you know what we can do? We should name the Bush and Kasich campaigns as Suck and Blow.
Well, that's perfect for the Midwest.
Two sides of the same coin, okay? And one sucks, one blows.
and you have to have airflow through the barn, so you need to clean that sucker out.
Oh, well, at least we'll have some comic relief,
Well, we know what to expect on Thursday. And I should have a report from the Donald Trump rally here locally on Thursday. So I don't know if I'll be able to call in on that day. But I will.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're going down to that's on. Is that on Thursday?
No, it's on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Okay. And then the debate's on Thursday, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. So we'll see if he can get called in here from the Trump rally down there on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Yeah,
okay.
See what I can do, man.
Yeah, we're out of time, folks, and I hope you enjoyed the show today. Actually, I like the ending here on a comic relief note, and we'll be back tomorrow. We got more. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that I wanted to do today. We got the whole week. One thing that you'll find on this show is that we don't have to finish a topic in a day. We'll go as long as we go. Let's say as long as there's something in substance to talk about, we'll keep it out there in the forefront because that's how you really come to understand what's going on. So visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and we will be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock out here in the West Coast, 6 o'clock out on the East Coast. And I think tomorrow some of it will be a continuation. We got another link from our friend Roy in Canada, which I'm going to look at tonight, that he is now saying, he sent me a link to an article here. I can just real briefly tell you that what it is that at Breitbart, they are reporting that there are people in the FBI that are now saying they have enough evidence to actually file charges against Hillary Clinton for corruption. So there must be these emails that they're checking on have to do with the Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely.
That's where the corruption would be at.
Absolutely.
So probably using information, state information, for the purpose of donation, soliciting donations and back and forth, and you rub my back, I'll rub yours, that kind of thing. So they're saying now, that maybe that's why we were hearing about anonymous source out there. But the same anonymous source is saying right now that the report is indicating that the initial security referral looking into whether or not classified information was mishandled has expanded to look at possible public corruption involving the Clinton Foundation.
Ooh.
So there it is, folks. It could be happening right before our very eyes. We love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all of our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best and uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, signing off until next time, right here on the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.